Hello and welcome to another episode of Alan Develops. This time we're going to be working on the Bard. Fun, fun, fun! Trying to fill in their character sheet, at least with the essentials. The Bard, like the Wizard or the Cleric, is a spell-based class, which means they have up to in this because we're running a level 20 adventure, the Escape from Carceri for GenCon 2020, which GenCon isn't going to take place. I know, but the label's still there, and I'm going to use it. So. Anyway, the Bard is heavily magic, and awesome stuff is going to ensue. They're going to have some limitations on the upper tier spells of what they can and can't cast, just because of the nature of Carceri. It's a non-immutable. It's an immutable realm in many ways. Where you have to physically change things. You can't really divinely alter things. Otherwise, Thazadun, who is the great horror and the destroyer of the universe, who lives at the bottom of Carceri, the third layer, and this specific island guarded by the Angels of Judgment or the Terminus. Otherwise, Thazadun would have escaped already. And since that hasn't happened and the universe still exists, well, here we are. So, Bard level 20. Yay. Background. Entertainer. That's a pureblood, basically. That's exactly what you expect. Like, you would expect a cleric to be an acolyte. You expect a rogue to be a criminal. And that's fine. The Bard was originally an entertainer. It's what he or she has gone through in life as part of the court of the final emperor, who wasn't actually the final emperor, but, he liked calling himself that. This is part of the court of the final emperor, which was crazy. Absolutely crazy. Chaotic neutral. Nothing says chaotic neutral like crazy. It's not really crazy. Actual crazy is disconcerting. This is more like the oh my god, I can't believe I did this sort of thing. And we're going to keep that in the past. And now the Bard has entered a period of lucidity, so the player doesn't have to play crazy. Just the vestiges of being over in a situation where you're over the top, essentially part of a cult. So anyway, what is the Bard good at? Yeah, let me tell you right now, that's charisma. Wisdom, smart, 16, 14, 12. That's just kind of throwing it out there. I'm not sure if that's what I'm going to go with, but charisma is where they're at. They are charismatic, and that is one of their saves they're going to have, as well as dexterity and intelligence. All right, so what are they good at? Well, there's one that we have to pick for the Bard. That's performance. I'm also going to make them good at stealth, because we need another. I'd like to have half the party at least be able to do stealth. That way they can split up if they have to. I don't think they'll have to the way I'm going to make the encounters, but they can do it. Arcana, so they can assist the wizard. They're not as good as it, but whatever. Do I want to have them walk all over yeah, pretty much. Persuasion. What else do they have? Intimidation. So they have a full suite of ways to manipulate people, and that's important. It's important. Oh, and also sleight of hand. No. Yes, but also no. All right. That's a lot of skills, and I may have to dial that back. That's just the way it is. We'll figure out if they're stomping too hard on the rogues buttons. Plus, they're going to get jack of all trades, so it's kind of like, well, so what? They're going to have bonuses to just about everything. And I'm going to with that in mind, I'm going to remove sleight of hand, and persuasion, and intimidation. Where they'll have to fake it otherwise. All right, good enough. All right, so we're not going to worry about speed, initiative, hit points they've got. Hit dice equal to whatever pleases the rule book. So personality traits. The extrovert. which we say everyone can be my friend. Everyone can be my friend. That feels more like a flaw. That feels like more like a flaw. Everyone can be my friend. They really like to be loved by everybody. They're an entertainer, and wanting that can be their downfall. That's why they stuck with the cult so long. They didn't want to upset anybody. The worse things are, the more outgoing I am. Disasters are made for that's a thing. Give rise to laughter. Disasters give rise to laughter. Okay. Which means the worse things are, the more you got to have people to laugh. Then that would pretty much be their bit. Personality. They're outgoing in the extreme, and I wanted to depict that. We'll say always a kind or cutting word. That's the best way to say extroverted. There's always a kind or cutting word. All right, other personality bits. They were part of a cult. They were insanity is overrated. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt sort of thing. All right, their ideals. A song puts the world into balance. And that's really where they're at. They that everything can be balanced out with a few harmonic notes. You can open up worlds. You can change people. Bonds. Ooh, that's a good one. As a former cult member, they're very shy of bonds. The right thing is hard. Knowing the thing be harder still. Ooh, okay. Is that their bonds? I trust those. I trust those who can do both. Who can do both. It has to be both for them. You have to be able. You have to know the right thing and do the right thing. If you don't know the right thing, but you're sort of doing the right thing, that's not someone you can trust. They're doing the right thing for the wrong reason, and that can go south very quickly. Scolier. D8 blunt. All right. Ivory pipe. D6 pierce. I'm tempted to make a pot joke there with the blunt reference, but no, never mind. All right, and I need a ranged thingy. Razor cards. There we go. That's something. D4 20/50. I don't like. It's too bad. We're one tile over. All right, so they've got some exotic weapons. And that's cool. Crafting musical instruments from everyday materials and items. Can play any musical instrument, including those that don't exist. That don't yet exist. Languages. Okay. Carillion. Obscure. Lost. Alright. Common. Accented by the separation. And I will let the player choose the accent. It's some of the all right. What did the final emperor speak? A little bit of Dwarvish, a little bit of Dwarvish, a little bit of Orcish. Ancient Sylvan Elf. Is that how you spell Sylvan? I don't know. Spellcheck seems to think that's the case. That'll have to work with that. Ancient Sylvan Elf, Ancient Crag Dwarf, the old Halfling Tongue, knows but won't speak the Dark Tongue, because it is bad for the throat. There we go. And as far as coins go, yes, sure. 117 and 9. Random coins, doesn't matter. I'll take it at 117. That's fine. It's a crazy little number. All right. So what is their gear? Quarter tire. Dated. Scroll case with compositions. Let's see. Jingly boots. Worn. Quiet boots. Like new and worn. Now, because there is magic, there is mending, there's magical mending, so they're able to upkeep some of their stuff. Trying to figure out what they would be wearing. Ink and quill. Writing kit. Hip flask. Quart size. That's very big, in case you're wondering. It's very big. So that's actually a riff on one of Patrick F. McManus's books, where I don't know, they were going somewhere on some sort of trek, and every once in a while, the guy would say, I took a shot at the hip flask, and I gave them to the you give a shot to somebody else to keep everybody going. And then at the very end, people have to be realizing that obviously the hip flask should have run out a long time ago. He's like, where do you get a quart-sized hip flask? And the other guy's like, well, hip flask, quart-sized. I don't know what else. I don't actually know. Musical gear. Book. The Last Days of the Final Emperor. Work in progress. All right, and we've got other stuff. Skull here. It's a magical item. It's great. All right, so here we're going to have Bard stuff, Jack of all trades, etc. Bardic inspiration on steroids, because they're going to be giving inspiration to other people, and it's going to let them do weird-ass things. Used to take an additional bonus or reaction. Usually it's used to affect hit rolls or saving throws or things like that, but you can use it for a lot of other things. And that'll give people the edge, and it'll give a reason for the bard to interact with people, and it'll be great. It'll be great. All right, so age in my prime. Height. Skin. Very nice. Hair. Extra nice. Multicolored. All right, so let's allies and organizations. Accord of the Final Emperor. Dead. The philosophers of blank. Fill that in later. There's a philosophy group that lives in Carceri for reasons that don't make any sense, and you know what? That's fine. Let them be there. People of Carceri, the sane ones. Of the sane people of Carceri. Some of crazy. All right. The Lost Tavern. Primordial Brewer. and lost contacts. Numerous lost contacts. How about we say various? Great, great. All right, so there we go. They got stuff. Additional features and traits. Immune to insanity. Been there. Got that. Resistant to psychic damage. Not immune, but resistant. I think that's good enough. Alright, if someone casts Charm on you, Charm might either regain hit dice or level 1 spell slot. We'll see how well that survives. Basically, charms just don't work on them, and they you can't bullshit a bullshitter sort of thing. So I don't think too many people are going to be throwing spells at them, but you know, it's fun to have. Character's backstory. Lived and loved as a troupe entertainer until you caught the eye of the final emperor. Taken to that mad court, you survived amid the intrigues and prospered. Then the rebellions began to gain ground. In a fit of pique, the final emperor decided that he wouldn't be taken alive, wouldn't be put in chains. He wouldn't be put in chains to Carceri. No, he'd take the whole court there first. That included you. Thus began what seemed like centuries of interscene plots, mayhem, twisted plots, mayhem, and murders. At the end, you were the only one alive. With your patron fallen, right and lost, you headed out to make a name for yourself in Carceri. That worked. People here needed good cheer. But having one for now to go on tour, and that means leaving through the ultimate locked door that is Carceri. And that worked. And by giving them your best, you realized better grasped your own desires. You better grasp your own mind. Now you want to go on tour. Thankfully, you've got a band, or at least roadies, to help get things moving. All right, treasures. OMG, so much loot, but what's money down here? Get inspiration from Darkest Dungeon. The Darkest Dungeon game, if you have not played it, is excellent. It's really creepy and gothic and Lovecraftian. Good stuff. Good stuff. We're going to give them, when the time comes, we're going to give them flashy cantrips. They're about style, so even some of the spells would just be, and I will put that down there. All your spells have a flashy style. All your spells use embellish the effects as you prefer with glowing signs or sparkles or fun sounds or fun sounds. Prestidigitation or with any casting as a free action. So just lets them do cool stuff. Flash and style. Come on, how do I spell prestidigitation here? There we go. Thank you, spell check. You knew what I needed eventually. All right, so that's the bard mostly. It'll be up to the player to really get this going and make it work, make it fun. But that's the thing. I can only set things up. I can't make them play the character, which reminds me of the first time I ran something at GenCon where I had a warlock who was pacted to Asmodeus himself, and was all flash style and evil cacklery, and it ended up one time going to a kid who was like 14, and he was playing with his father at the table. Father was a rogue, really good rogue, but the kid was well out of his class in terms of style and everything else, which was too bad. I hope he learned something from that. and I hope he had fun, but it was less than I had expected or wanted. So, but that's the nature of role playing. You never know what you're going to get at a convention, especially. So, I hope you've enjoyed this. This has been Alan Develops, and we've dealt with the Bard. And next time, we may work on encounters or at least sketching them out. I have them sketched out. I just need to put some more effort into it in order to make them realize themselves, so that we can both figure out how the players can be incorporated in special ways, and also then incorporate the players' backgrounds into it in some way, shape, or form. With, for example, it's the first time they're going to go to an oracle, maybe I can put in some oracular stuff into the various characters so that they have something to bounce off of, provided that they remember that it's on their character sheet. But regardless, I hope that you take care out there and stay safe. Thanks.